I would have a staff to take care of this because I'd be much better at this. So let's try this again. Hi, everybody. It's Cindy from Ask Nurse Cindy, and I think I'm live. We'll see if it stays. I wasn't touching anything, and it just stopped. So today we are going to we're going to continue our ABCs of ketogenic eating by talking about the letter C. Let me see if I can do that the right way. Letter C. I'm not good with the hand motions because I'm in my studio and one of my hands is holding my camera. So welcome. So let's talk about the letter C. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to share this. I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 40 long years. How did that happen to someone so young? And I am sorry I've not been back in a while. So hi, everybody. Hi, Pat, Patricia, as you guys are hopping on me, put on my glasses. I found out one of the reasons I have to wear glasses, which is a G, which is not what we're doing. Hi, Michelle, is that I have cataracts at age 61 that have to be removed. So soon I shall be having cataract surgery. Go figure. Oh well, they say I'll look a lot better. I'll look a lot better. I'll see a lot better. I don't think I'll look any better. But let's talk about the letter C. And C is an important letter because C is definitely for carbohydrates and it's definitely for calories. And even though there's other C words I want to talk about different foods, just to list them for you that are keto friendly or low carb friendly, the biggest thing I'd like to convey to you today, and I hope that you feel free to share this to your Facebook page or to your YouTube channel or send it to friends, is that of all the things we want to control for to be successful in our journey on a low carbohydrate / ketogenic diet, is we have to control the carbs. You can go 50 ways from Sunday about how much protein to have, how much fat to have, but if we are not very aware of how much carbohydrates we are taking in other words, how many grams, that's the weight that we measure by. So if you look at the back of a thing of almond flour and it says that it has 8 grams of carbohydrates per quarter cup, that's how many grams you would count towards your daily total if you're doing total carbs. And I have a whole video on my YouTube channel on total versus net carbs. But carbohydrates, basically, when the body sees that message, because I've talked a lot about when we eat food, we are literally giving instructions to our body, and our body will respond based on what we take in. So of all the 3 macronutrients, and I've got a video on how macronutrients are like Lego building blocks, of all the things that are going to determine your ability to get into ketosis, to start burning your stored fat as fuel, is the amount of carbohydrates you ingest. Now, for those of us that follow, like a Dr. Eric Westman with Adapt Your Life, or we follow a lot of the folks that are online, like Dr. Ken Berry or Dr. Heather Cardin, or you name it, most of them are going to advocate for 20 grams of carbohydrates per day or less if you want to go into ketosis. What is ketosis? The OSIS, osis, at the end of any medical term means that you are in the state of. So if I have halitosis, which is bad breath, then I'm in the state of having horrible smelling breath, which can happen as I'm exhaling ketones. So ketosis means I'm in the state of burning ketones. And the only way I get to the point of burning ketones endogenously, those that I produce within my own body. Exogenous means I'm taking in something from the outside. Endogenous means I'm producing it myself. The only way that I can get into a state of ketosis, where I'm accessing my fat stores, is to limit my carbohydrates. The other 2 macronutrients, which would be proteins and fats, I can play around with and I can tweak those, but carbohydrates is almost an absolute if you want to get into ketosis. And while 20 grams a day is sort of considered the top end of it for someone who is trying to lose weight or follow a ketogenic lifestyle, or keto for short, or low carb, high fat, or low carb, healthy fat, is that there's that sort of magical 20. Now, I will tell you that if you're a male who's pretty healthy and active, many of those guys can do 50 grams a day and still be in ketosis and still burn their fat. Women, such as myself, especially if you're not athletic, in the sense of I don't get up and do marathons, never have done one. I did my first 10K on the cruise. You may, especially if you're insulin resistant, you may not, or have hyperinsulinemia, which is hyper, too much, insulinemia in the blood, too much insulin in the blood because we've overconsumed carbohydrates for so long. 20 may be too high for you and me. we may need to lower that if we really want to accelerate all of the healing benefits of not having the inflammation from the carbohydrates. So C is for carbohydrates. Massively important, and if you do nothing else, if you control your carbohydrate intake and then you eat to satiety with your protein, moderate amounts of protein, and fat as a lever, you adjust the fat. You don't have to have in my opinion, now there are others that feel differently, and that's okay. We're still learning. I've learned so much in the past year and a half, 2 years since I've been doing this lifestyle. I'm down 75 pounds. My family's down over 900 pounds. It works, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a quick weight loss for people that are over 60, such as myself, but it's a way to repair your body. It's a way to impact that inflammatory cascade that comes from the glycation or stickiness of sugar that sticks to the different proteins inside of our body. So carbohydrates, C is for carbohydrates. And if you can do anything and do it well on this journey, keep them as low as you can. Now, C is also for carnivore, and that's a very ultra low carb lifestyle where you basically eat animal products and you eat animal fats. And I did a 14-day experiment. Unfortunately, it wasn't interrupted because I finished the 14 days, but I haven't given you my debrief on my carnivore experiment. I will do that because my mom got very, very ill and unfortunately passed away during the day that I was going to go back to low carb. So more on that later. Still too emotional to talk a lot about it. So control for your carbohydrates. Carnivore is one variation. You never have to go carnivore. It's a very popular thing right now. I did it for 2 weeks. I was thinking that my blood sugars were just going to be great and I was going to lose all this weight. Nope, not for me, not for carnivore. It was okay. It was a good thing to try. I missed my vegetables. I missed the few keto treats that I have on occasion. So I'm back to doing a low carb or ketogenic 20 grams of carbs or less per day. So that's two of the C's, carnivore and carbs, carbs being the most important thing for you to control. The next C is calories. Do calories matter? Yes and no. And I hate to be so inconsistent on that answer, but it's all over the board. If you think that you can sit and eat a pound of almonds a day because they're keto, if you stay under your carb count, or drink buckets of fat of any sort, if your calorie count is higher than what your metabolic needs are, you are going to not find that you get the results you're looking for if your goal is weight loss. In other words, if I'm drinking a lot of fat in my coffees, and I have a couple of coffees a day, and I've heard that bulletproof coffees are good or fatty coffees are good, and that's fine if you like them. Maria Emmerich, who I admire greatly, says if I'm going to have 500 calories in the morning, I'd rather it be eggs with butter on it versus just having my 500 calories in fat. So there's different ways that you can do it, and each of us have to adjust. We have to, another C, customize what we eat based on us. What medications am I on? What's my age? What's my fasting glucose or my hemoglobin A1C? What are my other markers? Do I have any type of hypertensive medications that I'm on? Oh, I hope that doesn't mean that my video just stopped working. The light just went sort of dark. So let me see if I can get that. I don't know. I may go back to just doing my Facebook Lives versus YouTube. Who knows? So the C is carbohydrates. There's carnivore. Calories do ultimately matter. You're going to have to find out what your tolerance is. And trust me, I'm down 75 pounds. I can't eat the same level of calories. I was lugging 75 pounds around. I want you to think of me having 3 25-pound bags of potatoes on my back. That required more calories for me to be able to just move around in my job. So now that I'm lighter, I need to realize that I don't need the same number of calories. And I don't want to go too low where I get into a calorie deficit, and that can actually lower my metabolism. Is it tricky? Yes. Is there a lot to learn? Yes. And I encourage you to not trust what I say exclusively. If it makes sense to you, if it's logical to you, test it out. If it's not working for you, I did a video the other day on tweak and trust. Trust and tweak. Trust the process, but tweak your macros, or tweak what you eat, or tweak your sleep. Sleep's so important. For cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and when cortisol is released because of a stressful situation or lack of adequate sleep, it's going to raise our blood sugars. And when our blood sugars are up, The pancreas is required to secrete insulin to deal with it, and the insulin is going to do what it does and escort the blood glucose out, or the blood sugar, same thing, out of the bloodstream, and it doesn't evaporate into the air. If it just evaporated, that would be fantastic, but it gets stored as fat. So stress management, adequate sleep, your calories, your carbohydrates, all of these things play into it. And ladies and gentlemen, if it was simple, we wouldn't be having all these videos. I would have lost my last 20 pounds and we would be good to go. But it is complex, and our body adjusts, and our body gets used to different things. So that's sort of my, in a nutshell, some of the biggest C's. Let me talk about another C that I haven't mentioned, coffee. Now, some of you don't drink coffee, and that's fine. I'm going to be doing a video with the inventor of this tea company that does a cold brew instant tea, which is really cool. And I'll be letting you know about that in a little bit. But coffee is something that a lot of us really enjoy. And whether you drink it black or you put a little bit of some sort of fat in it or some sort of stevia, that's your call how you do it. But coffee is a C. Now I'm just going to run down this list of foods, and these would be keto-friendly foods in moderation. Cabbage, great. Most of your C cruciferous vegetables are good. Celery in moderation. Celtic sea salt. Cream, if you like heavy whipping cream. A lot of your cheeses are okay. Please get the full-fat cheeses, because your low-fat cheeses are not going to be good for you on this eating plan. It's going to really have higher carbs. You could even do some cream cheese. If you like to eat crabs, just not the fried ones that are breaded in wheat or some sort of gluten. Calisthenics, don't be afraid to do the old-fashioned thing where you stand in a doorway and push. We want to try to stress our muscles some. I've done the Papa Squat videos. I talk about functional movement, especially if you're as old as I am. You want to be able to be the athlete of your life. You want to be able to get up and down from a chair. You don't want to become wheelchair bound. So do those activities that you can during a commercial, another C. Do those things that you can to increase your movement in any way you can. There's also chocolate. Dark chocolate is our friend on this. Cookies, you can make all sorts of keto cookies. I saw my C chiropractor today, and he has lost 45 pounds. And hi, Dr. Guerra, if you're listening to this. And he has just watched me. He calls me the incredible shrinking patient. And he said to see that you can do it and that you can maintain it and that you're reaching out to help others. He said, I felt for the first time in my life, he's just a little bit older than I am. He said, I felt that I had hope that I could actually do it. So I made him some keto cookies because he's single, ladies. And I made him some keto cookies and took them to him today. And that's why I have this crazy hair. He said it's that windswept look, so we'll see. Let's see, chorizo, I'm probably saying that wrong. Cheesecake, I make an amazing keto cheesecake. It's fantastic. Cauliflower, cinnamon, cumin, clams, cucumber, carnitas, chicken, catfish, if you like catfish. I'm not a big catfish person, but those are a lot of the C's that I came up with. What have I missed? What type of C's are out there? I'm sure I've missed a ton of them, and I apologize for not being on as frequently as I typically am, but C is a vital one, because if you can manage to keep your carbohydrate intake low and you adjust for calories and you're aware about self-soothing with food and how not good that is for us, how we should eat when we're hungry, and if we're not hungry, it's telling me that my body is adequately being fueled by the fat from my fat stores. All right, I'm hoping this is making sense. So C is a very important word. I'm going to see. I think I have chat enabled, but I don't know. Oh, you did CrossFit, Michelle. Good. So that's another C. Oh, Darlene, you're so kind. Correct the diet. Great, Michelle. So let me see who else is here with us. So you guys are great. Sorry for my finger being in front of the camera. So crap. Well, I don't know what the crap was in relation to. Yeah. So total versus net, I've got a video on it. So you subtract the fiber. Some people subtract sugar alcohols if they're in. Some people subtract half the sugar alcohols. Your choice, what you want to do about that. Oh, I'm so clear. Oh, you are on a roll. Who's looking up a thesaurus? You guys are fantastic. Let me see what else I've missed here. So coffee with cream is fine. I use a tablespoon in mine. Oh, Michelle, you've lost 80 pounds. I am so proud of you. That is so fantastic. In San Antonio, I left you a message. Oh, I'm so sorry, Michelle. Call Dr. Tamara, Tamyra Rogers, Rogers. So she does understand ketogenic eating. She does support me in many different ways. She's very holistic. She's board certified. I think family practice. She might be internal medicine. She's got a office out at the Dominion and an office out at Redlands. Tell her Nurse Cindy sent you. Maybe I won't have to have a copay. Yeah, Tamara, and it's Tamyra. So it's a different little way of to spell Tamara, but you will. Oops, dang, what did I just do? But you'll find her if you look her up. She's awesome. So that's it. That's about it for me. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm so glad you're on. Thank you so much for joining us. C is an important letter. So I will see you guys soon. Next letter is D. So start telling me, start popping what D's do I need to talk about. We will definitely talk about vitamin D. We'll definitely talk about that, and we'll talk about any and everything that starts with the letter D. And I promise I won't be away so long. It's just been one of those weeks. I've just, with losing my mom and the grieving process, just haven't seemed to be able to pick myself up and dust myself off. So and I went to Alabama this week. I went to Birmingham, an A and a B. I was there and back. So you guys have a fantastic holiday weekend. Be safe. Wear your seatbelt. Be very careful when you're out and about. Other people will not be so careful about their alcohol consumption. I want you guys to be safe. Feel free to hit subscribe, wherever that little button is, and feel free to share this. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.